Welcome into the Sporting News Studio, everybody. I'm Stephen Levine. We're taking a look at all your March Madness matchups thanks to the UPS Team Performance Index. I'm joined via telephone by college basketball writer Ryan Fagan. Ryan, I know we're journalists, we're supposed to be objective, but how can you not love and root for Florida Gulf Coast University?
I tell you what, as the final minutes were ticking away in that game, I was in the press room, the media room in Salt Lake City. And I was one of many, many journalists standing around the TV just in awe at the way that Florida Gulf Coast was playing and the fashion with which they were beating Georgetown. It wasn't like they were sneaking by. They were the aggressive team. They were throwing down alley-oops. They were knocking down long three-pointers. This is a team that, you know, has become the story of the tournament. I mean, and even if this was an 11 seed knocking off a 6 seed, the way Florida Gulf Coast played was something that was a lot of fun to watch. The fact that it's a 15 knocking off a 2 really says that this Florida Gulf Coast team, like I said, is probably the story of the tournament so far.
Yeah, but anybody who said they had Florida Gulf Coast and Harvard advancing into this round, I want to see their brackets because I'm not buying it.
You know, and the thing is both of these teams are really good, but there's a difference between being really good and actually winning in the NCAA tournament and beating teams like Georgetown and New Mexico.
Yeah. Now, speaking of winning, the Eagles are taking on the Aztecs of San Diego State. Can they do the same thing to San Diego State that they did to Georgetown? Absolutely.
I mean, in fact, I think, you know, if Florida Gulf Coast plays half of the way they did against Georgetown in this game with the Sweet 16 on the line, the Eagles are going to win. You know, San Diego State is a solid team. They're not a flashy team by any means. You know, I've seen the word methodical used a lot in reference to San Diego State, and that's pretty much talking about everybody except for Jamal Franklin. You know, Franklin had a good game against Oklahoma, 21 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. That's the kind of thing we're used to seeing out of him. But, you know, this is a San Diego State team that hasn't played that great away from home, and they're going up against a Florida Gulf Coast team that clearly is playing with a ton of confidence right now. They felt they should have been better than a 15 seed. And it's a Florida Gulf Coast team that is not afraid of anyone. You know, their three of their first 4 games this year were against Duke, Miami, and FGCU, and they famously beat Miami when the Hurricanes didn't have Durant Scott. But now they face those 3 teams, plus they have the confidence of the win against Georgetown in their opening game. And this is a game that if you're a San Diego State fan, I think you're a little bit nervous about.
Yeah, and of course it's Florida Gulf Coast, just their second year of eligibility in the Division I tournament. It's just such a great story. That's Ryan Fagan. I'm Stephen Levine in the Sporting News Studio. Thanks a lot to the UPS and the Team Performance Index. We're looking at all the NCAA men's basketball tournament games right here at Sporting News.